Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma rabbi zidni ilma. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome dear students in the subject of Internet Architecture and Protocols. It's Ghulam Yasin, lecturer in Computer Science, University of Education Lahore, DG Khan campus. Dear students, today's lecture topic is bridging and switching, and we have discussed about bridging and switching in detail in our previous two lectures. In today's lecture we will complete the contents of bridging and switching. So I am going to repeat the contents again. To understand the functioning of layer 2 devices, what is broadcast domain, what is collision domains, differentiating between a bridge and a switch, to understand different bridging and switching techniques, and the last one is to examine the different types of bridges and switches. So we have discussed in detail about broadcast domain, collision domain, different bridges and switches functions, and in today's lecture we will complete the remaining bridges and switches operations or functions. Bridges or switches operations. Flooding. Bridges forward LAN broadcast frames and unknown unicast frames out all ports. Dear students, in our previous lecture we have discussed the concept of learning. What was learning? To learn to obtain the MAC address or physical address of different PCs by the switch is called the learning process. And what is flooding? If the switch can't be able to obtain MAC address or physical address, likewise if the bridge can't be able to obtain the MAC address or physical address, then the frame will be broadcasted. And when the frame is broadcast, all the connected devices will see the frame, but only intended device will reply. So this is called a unicast. Second point, the switch floods the frame with the hope that the unknown device will be on some other Ethernet segment. It will reply and the switch will build a correct entry in the address table. Dear students, because switch needs MAC table, switch needs the addresses of PCs in its MAC table. If there is no entry of MAC addresses or physical addresses in that MAC address table, switch or bridge will be unable to send frame to intended destination. So to get the required MAC or physical address, first the frame will be broadcasted to all different devices, all different segments, and after that when those segments will receive the request, then the intended device will unicast, and after that the specific MAC or physical address of that devices will be updated by switch or bridge in MAC address table. So this is concept of flooding, and switch as well as bridge, both these two devices perform the function of flooding to obtain the required MAC or physical address of desired devices. So dear students, next function or operation of bridge or switch is forwarding. So this is very clear from the word of forwarding that the bridge or switch will forward the frame to intended destination. So first point is the switch decides when to forward a frame based on the destination MAC address, because all the MAC addresses, all the physical addresses are being kept by switch as well as bridge in its MAC address table. So if the device 1 will transmit any frame for device 4, this frame will be received by switch and then it will be forwarded to specific device which is PC4. So it is very clear that the frames or data will be transmitted on the basis of MAC addresses, on the basis of physical addresses. And if the physical address or MAC address of source as well as destination device is being saved in switch MAC table, then there is no problem. Second point, the switch looks at the previously learned MAC addresses in an address table to decide where to forward the frame. We have discussed in detail about learning process of switch or bridge. So what is learning process? Learning process is basically to obtain the physical addresses or MAC addresses of all the devices which are being connected in local area network in one segment to a specific switch. And as the switch is layer 2 device, switch works at data link layer, and switch is intelligent device, switch performs a unicasting operation on the basis of MAC addresses. So as far as MAC addresses will be saved, then the switch will forward frame to specific intended destination. So this is a simple forwarding concept. Forwarding means to forward a frame to desired destination on the basis of MAC or physical addresses, and all the MAC and physical addresses of connected devices to a switch is being saved by switch in its MAC address table. Filtering. So dear students, next important operation of bridge or switch is filtering. A switch generally does filtering along with forwarding. We have discussed in detail about forwarding, and what was basically forwarding. Forwarding is to forward a frame to its intended destination. When the switch will receive a frame, that frame will be forwarded on the basis of physical or MAC address. There are 2 points, or there are 2 cases in filtering. Case number 1, when the source and destination devices exist on the same interface. Same interface means same port, because every internetworking device contains some ports, and these ports are called interfaces. Normally switch is available in 24 ports, 48 ports, 72 ports, and so on. So then the bridge or switch will filter the frame and does not pass it to any other interface, because if the broadcast domain is single, or there is a single broadcast domain, then the frame will not be forwarded. We have discussed earlier in our previous lectures. So in this case, because source and destination devices exist on the same interface, that frame is not being passed to any other interface by the switch or bridge. Second case, if source and destination are on different interfaces and the destination port is known, then the frame is forwarded to only the destination interface and it will be filtered or not sent on the remaining interfaces. Now this is second case if the source belongs to a different interface and destination belongs to a different interface, but the destination port is known, then the frame will be forwarded only to the intended destination. So filtering is again an important operation of bridge or switch, which is performed to transfer the frame to its intended destination on the basis of interfaces, on the basis of ports, as well as on the basis of MAC addresses. Aging. Dear students, this is last operation or last function of bridge or switch. We have discussed 4 operations in our previous lectures, and this is last operation, which is called aging. So before going to discuss this slide, understand the concept of aging. You know that the switch or bridge maintains an addressing table, which is MAC address table, and this MAC address table is being updated frequently, because as the new devices will be connected to switch will update its MAC address table. But if a device which is not being used for many time, or you can say that if a device which is not going to be transfer data for last 10 minutes, this means that this device or this PC is not being transfer or not being going to transfer data, although this system is attached to switch. So switch will delete the entry of that device which is not being going to transfer data, or which device is not participating in data transmission, because every specific switch, every specific device have a specific limit to keep the entry of MAC addresses. So switch has also a limited capacity to save the MAC addresses. So only the MAC addresses of active PCs are being saved, so that the passive PCs which are not being supposed to transfer data must not be saved, must not be in MAC address table. So definition: by default, every switch keeps the entry of a computer in its table for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes or aging time, this is called also aging time, the entry is deleted from the table, assuming that the device does not exist on the network. This is useful if our device is disconnected from the network or move from one segment to another segment. So in other case, if our device is connected to switch and after some time the entry of MAC address is available in the switch MAC table, but the device has been removed, so it is necessary to update the switch MAC table. So aging is a concept by which all the passive devices will be removed, all the MAC entries of passive devices will be removed to update its switching table, to update its MAC address table. In this diagram, dear students, you can see the bridge concept or bridge device. So on the left side, you can see different LAN devices, and on the right side you can also see different LAN devices. There are two local area networks over here, LAN 1 and LAN 2. So let's suppose in local area network 1 or LAN 1 there are two devices, and you can see the physical addresses or MAC addresses of these two devices, which are 71 2B 13456 and 141, likewise 712B 13456 142. So these are MAC addresses in the form of hexadecimal numbers, and on the right side you can also see two devices connected to local area network, and you can also see the MAC addresses of these two devices. And these two local area networks are being joined with the help of a centralized device which is called bridge. So over here, to join these two similar local area networks, we may use the internetworking device which is bridge. So on the upper side, you can see the functionality of bridge. Bridge contains MAC address table. So addresses are saved in its MAC address table, and you can also see the port numbers. So on the right side you can see port number, on the left side you can see different addresses in MAC address table, and on the basis of these addresses, on the basis of these port numbers, bridge will be able to communicate data, to send data among different computers, among different devices which are connected to it. So bridge as well as switch maintains the addressing table, and you can see the addressing table over here, which is a bridge table, and in this table you can see the physical address as well as port number for data transmission. Learning process of bridge or bridges. So in this slide you can see different local area networks again, LAN 1, LAN 2 and LAN 3. So these three local area networks are being connected with the help of bridge. So whenever this device means bridge will be powered on, the MAC addresses of all the connected devices are not being saved for the first time. So there are different scenarios by which bridge will be able to learn, and we have studied that when the frames are being transmitted among these different personal computers, the addresses, MAC addresses, physical addresses are being received by the bridge, and this process is called a learning process of bridge. So in different four tables, A, B, C, D, you can see, you can observe the learning process. In A table, the table is empty. This is original table, this is original bridge table in which there is no entry of MAC address, there is no entry of port number. In B, you can see after A sends a frame to D, when A will send a frame to D, the address of A, the physical address of A will be recorded by bridge in its bridging table. And in C, you can see after E sends a frame to A, the address of A as well as E will be recorded by the bridge, and port number 1 and 3 is also being saved in its bridging table. And in D table you can see after B sends a frame to C, the physical address of A, the physical address of E, the physical address of B is being saved by bridge in its bridging table, and as well as port number 1, port number 3 and port number 1 is being saved by bridge in its bridging table. So this is a process which is called learning process of bridge, in which bridge will receive the physical addresses as well as port numbers, and the entries of physical address and the port number is being saved by bridge in its bridge table. Dear students, this is last slide of our lecture, and we have discussed about bridging and switching in detail in our three lectures. So in this slide you will learn how switches filter frames. First of all, there are four different PCs or four different devices which are being connected to switch. System A are PCA, PCB, PCC and PCD. So computer A contains the physical address which is shown over here. Computer B contains the physical address which is shown computer C and computer D. So the physical addresses of all four computers are shown over here. And as well as the port numbers of switch is also being shown, Ethernet 0, Ethernet 1, Ethernet 2 and Ethernet 3. So these are different port numbers. And you can also see the MAC address table. So MAC address table contains the entries of all these four personal computers, local area network card, LAN card or NIC card addresses. So all these computers are connected to a switch, and switch contains the entries of MAC addresses of all these four connected computers. So you can see in the last, station A sends a frame to station C. Because station A address is being saved in MAC address table, station C address is being saved in MAC address table of this switch. This switch will forward the frame to its intended destination. So second point, destination is known, frame is not flooded. Basically, flooding is a problem in our network. So to control the problem of flooding, switch as well as bridge will maintain MAC address table, and on the basis of this MAC address table, frame is being transmitted to its intended destination. This is also called unicasting instead of flooding or multicasting. So dear students, thank you very much for your concentration, for your learning, for your passion. I hope best of luck for all of you always.